the week presented by State Farm. Bradley plays host to Illinois State. Both these teams looking for their first conference win. With my partner Jill Hutchison, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you with us for our Valley Game of the Week presented by State Farm. Of course, you have been part of this I-74 series, and it's one of the better ones in the Valley, isn't it?
It is. It's an I-74 rivalry, and they call it the War on 74, and it's just that. The fans really live it up on this one.
And a real key in this game could be guard play.
No question. Illinois State, Dan, has a special player in Christy Cerrone. She's a 5'8" freshman. 3 out of the first 8 weeks of the season, she has been Newcomer of the Week. She was also named Player of the Week one of those weeks. The only time a Valley player has been Newcomer and Player of the Week at the same time. Bradley is going to try and answer with a young lady named Devin Flanagan. And Flanagan is a kid who also is leading her team in scoring, but they just found out this week that she has a stress fracture in her right leg. They found out last night that she can play. The stress fracture is in a non-weight bearing bone, and she's going to try and stop Cerrone. We both know it's not a two-player game, and for both of these teams, it's going to take a village to win.
Well, related to the NCAA tournament. They're trying to regroup, get things going in 2006. We'll tip it off when we come back. It's in Memorial Fieldhouse. The Bradley Braves at 4-10, taking on Illinois State. They are 5-8, and both these teams are looking for their first conference win. We take a look at the starting lineups, and they're brought to you by Bud Light. Great taste for your great times, Bud Light. And both these teams have had the injury bug, Coach, and that's really adjusted some of the starting lineups.
No question. In fact, they got a lot of different people in different roles. Key players for Illinois State out. Nicole Lewis, a 6'5" freshman, and Ashley Sandstead, both starters. And for Bradley, Shalene has been out 2 games, and I think that was a factor for them early.
Robin Pinchton, the 2004 Rawlings Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year. And she did a wonderful job guiding her team to the NCAA tournament as a number 8 seed last year in the MVC postseason tournament. Paula Busher, 110 and 124, 9th season as a college head coach, and 6th season with the Bradley Braves. 67-86 her mark overall at the school. Our keys to the game brought to you by National City, where they want to make banking simple for lives that aren't.
Well, Illinois State has got to rebound. They're giving up over 9 boards a game in Valley play, and they need to take care of the ball. Bradley, on the other hand, is worried about defensive intensity, if they can maintain that for 40 minutes. And she's had trouble getting her team attacking the basket. They want to put it on the floor in a dribble, go to the post, but somehow get the ball to the rim.
Let's take a look at our series history, brought to you by Sirius Satellite Radio. Sirius is unbeatable radio. All radio is not created equal. Well, the Birds have a 13-9 advantage in Peoria, although the Braves have won the last 5 at Robertson Fieldhouse. The all-time series, 29-16. Illinois State's last win in Robertson Fieldhouse 6 years ago tomorrow. We've got a nice crowd on hand. 6 of the 9 all-time Bradley crowds have been well over 2,000, and they've been in this series. When these two teams meet up, it's not a far drive for their fans to come on over, and boy, they get after it pretty good. Well,
and I think that people are here, they'll really appreciate that, because there's almost as many Illinois State fans probably as there are Bradley fans, and they like to let each other know they're here.
It's an old building, but this is a fun place.
It is. It's a neat atmosphere. I think the only scary part, Dan, is that the floor is raised, and going after loose balls on the sideline can get a little scary.
Absolutely. Illinois State wins the opening tip. They push it inside. A block, and they're going to say it's going to be a foul. That's going to go against Bradley. And I believe they got Amy Peters, the 6'2 junior, with the foul. So Peters whistled for the foul in the first 6 seconds of the game. And at the line for Illinois State, Amber Shelton, a 5'10 sophomore out of Warden, Illinois. And the first one rattles out.
Illinois State has struggled at the line, not shooting even 70% yet. 67 for the season.
Shelton, the 3rd leading scorer, gets the first point in this game. Full court pressure by Illinois State. This is our State Farm Game of the Week, the Missouri Valley Conference. Glad you're with us. Jill Hutchison, Dan McLaughlin. And a foul there against Illinois State. So 2 quick ones in the first 10 seconds of play.
I'll be anxious to see if both teams don't press a lot, Dan. Illinois State starting in a 1-2-1-1 zone trap.
We thought that guard play would be the big key this afternoon.
I think it will be, too. Devin Flanagan is doubled her point production from last year. 5 points a year ago, 11 now.
Open look left side for three. Almost got the shooter's roll for Catherine Graham. It's knocked out of bounds, and it's back to Bradley.
Only the second start for Kat Graham this season. She's a kid who sat the bench for 2 years and is finally getting her chance to get out on the floor and do something.
Illinois State has had a couple of ACL injuries to 2 players, and they both had surgery this week, Coach.
Well, both Nicole Lewis and Ashley Sandstead blew their ACLs just at the end of the non-conference schedule. They both had surgery. Fortunately, it was just ACL. And they should both be able to come back next year. They both will lose a year of eligibility, though it was past the 6-game limit.
Libby Magnuson got the bucket for the Bradley Braves. A travel on the other end for Illinois State. We'll go back the other way. And it's 2-1. Braves on top. Near turnover, and it is. Here's Cerrone, their leading scorer. Good defense and transition that time by Bradley.
Yeah, it's really going to be a defensive battle, I think. The team that can play the best defense. Of course, we always say that, but in this game, it may be even more important.
Shot clock is under 10. And this is number 10, Cerrone at the right elbow, feeding it inside. Muscling up, no good. Hit out of bounds was Graham. And it's a fresh 30, and Illinois State will have it.
Amy Peters got a piece of that, I think, Dan. She's a kid that has really stepped up for Bradley, done a good job in the paint for them this season.
Here's Tiffany Hudson. The spinner is no good, and it's pulled away by Flanagan. 11 points and 5 rebounds a game she averages. You can see that device, and you were talking about that in our open, of what she's got on her right leg for Flanagan.
And I think this is the first game she has played with that support on her ankle. It started bothering her, and finally they went and had some x-rays done, found out it had a stress fracture, already started calcification, and I think that's why they feel that there's no danger to play on it.
And here she is. Flanagan right side, no. And the rebound for Illinois State.
Both teams getting some good looks, Dan. They're just having trouble putting them down here.
Inside off the glass, Tiffany Hudson, the sophomore from Naperville, Illinois.
Hudson is a player that can create her own shot there. She was point guard on a team with Candace Parker. Parker, the player of the year in high school 2 years ago, playing at Tennessee right now.
At Tennessee last weekend, a huge victory over UConn.
Yes, it was, and that's quite a rivalry that will probably only get a little bit better as the years go on.
And it's not just a rivalry between the players, it's the coaches that go head to head.
Gino and Pat have a thing going, and Gino doesn't mind talking about it.
He doesn't mind talking about anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
And a foul inside the offensive rebound by Kelly Cumreedy. And she'll go to the line and shoot a couple. Stay tuned for the halftime report, brought to you by Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where our love for kids just keeps on growing.
Crumwitty is a freshman from Minnesota for the Bradley Braves. She's a kid that's just gotten better as the season has gone on, worked herself into the starting lineup, but I've been impressed. I watched her practice yesterday. I think she's got a lot of potential. Third leading scorer on their team. 63% free throw shooter. And that gives a different dimension for the Braves. 4-3, Bradley at home on top. Illinois State will break the pressure. Cerrone, good ball movement inside, very easily, could have been 3 seconds. It's a bucket for Holly Hallstrom. Nice finish by Hallstrom with a lot of pressure. She's another kid who can bang inside. These teams are really pretty well matched, Dan, size-wise and athletically. Peters for 3, no.
And the rebound to Tiffany Hudson. She wastes no time getting up the floor. Cerrone, left side for three and hits it. Boy, when she gets going, she can really shoot it.
It's just amazing for a freshman. She is not intimidated by anybody or anything. She plays with great poise.
That's her 26th three-pointer on the season. She shoots darn near 40% from behind the arc. Very, very good shooter. Averaging just over 14 points a game.
That is one category that she's ranked in the Valley, 6th in three-point field goals made. And that's unusual for a freshman, I think.
And it shows you the confidence. Good look inside of Peters for the easy two. That's her 4th point of the afternoon. But like you said, she's 26 of 75, so she has shot 75 three-pointers this year. That's shooting with some confidence.
She's not shy.
No.
And you watch her shot, and the ball rotates sideways, so it's not the prettiest release in the world, but you know what? It's consistent.
Why do you think in the girls' game, Coach, it just seems that the ladies at play are more technically sound in shooting the basketball more so than the men? Why do you think that is?
I think the men's game has become a power game, and it's played above the rim, and the women's game is played with finesse, and I think strategy is still a big issue. It is not a power game. It's still a game the way it was initially designed.
Oh, great look underneath, and Peters has 6. And a timeout is taken by Illinois State with 15:08 to play first half, and we're all tied up at 8 apiece. Good look underneath. You're going to see this pass to Peters.
I think they're getting some nice teamwork on both sides. Good dump, Peters. The good thing is a player that moves to an opening to get that shot, not just standing there expecting everybody to give him the ball.
I think you would agree the clear-cut favorite, the ladies' side, as far as the Missouri Valley Conference, is Indiana State. Bradley saw them on Thursday, lost that game. They're head and shoulders above everybody else. But then you take a look at how Bradley and Illinois State can come into this game and approach it. It's really 2 through 10. You have no idea who's going to really fall in those spots.
No, you're absolutely right. Indiana State is 5-0. They're leading the Valley right now, the only undefeated team. And they've got a good RPI, which bodes well for postseason. But, you know, at this point, I think it's still a wide open race in the Missouri Valley. There's a lot of good teams. And one thing we need to mention is there's some great coaching going on in the Missouri Valley Conference.
I figured you might say something like that.
I'm impressed. I think we've got good young coaches.
Offensive foul there on Hallstrom. Well, we mentioned Cerrone, one of the top shooters. Health check so far. She's got the 1-3 as it's early on. It's 8 is 8-8. Jill Hutchison, Dan McLaughlin with you at 14:54 to go in our first half. Boy, we had to really go digging deep for this one.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, let's set it up for the people at home. They didn't know that you didn't know, but we knew that we were going to show them. Who is that up there?
Oh, I don't get mad. I get even. Oh, my goodness. That was 30 pounds ago.
And how about that?
And Paula, yeah, Paula was an assistant at Illinois State way back in the good old days. That's funny.
Now, how old is that picture, you think, there?
5, 6 years
That's
probably,
what I thought. I mean, within the last couple of years.
It was early 80s.
At least we can have a little fun with you.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't know that was coming.
That'd be our buddy Steve Kurtenbach that did that to you.
You know, Paula Busher has done a good job, though. She was an assistant a long time at Nebraska Omaha. Then she went to Mankato State, came back to be the head coach at Omaha, and then came back home. Her family lives here in Peoria, so I know this was a good job for her.
Tom LaMonica, of course, helping with us here today and provided us with that
pulled the picture.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
The 3 is up and good for Bradley. And that was Alex Libatori seeing her first action of the afternoon.
Libatori is a spark for the Bradley Braves. She plays with a lot of energy.
And the travel on the other end. And it's back to the Braves. Flanagan back in the ball game along with Ashley Shalene. And Peters will have a seat.
Sorry, Dan. Ashley Shalene has been one of my favorite players for years. As a freshman, she made the all-freshman team 3 years ago. Then redshirted with stress fractures in both feet. She plays with plantar fasciitis, and it's going to be a chronic injury for her forever. But she is really having a good junior year.
Push inside as Shelton was banging in there with Liberatore. It's 12-8, Bradley on top with 13:20 to play.
We're seeing that call so often now. Steve Stelgis just made it was a hand contact. As soon as she put the ball on the floor, they have to get their hands off.
Inadvertent buzzer, and now the official wants to come over near the scorer's table. We'll just redo it.
I'm wondering if he's going to reset the clock here at all.
Foul was given to Shelton. 3 up, left side. No good. Looked like an over the back, and that's what we're going to get. And that will go against Erica Nelson. Or rather, Liberatore.
Bradley is a good offensive rebounding team, and it's good that Illinois State's focusing on that.
Here's Cerrone.
Tiffany Hudson really is a point guard that's playing more of an off guard with Cerrone since the injury to Ashley Sandstead.
And a whistle. Hitting the floor was LaShawn Johnson. Prairie Farms MVC Scholar Athlete this week. Bradley's Megan LeBlanc, a senior from Alberta, Canada. LeBlanc is a 2-time Valley Scholar Athlete, a 3-time All-Conference choice, 3.8 GPA, and captured the 05 Women's Golf Championship. So congratulations to Megan LeBlanc. Academics important to the MVC. We salute Megan LeBlanc, today's Prairie Farms MVC Scholar Athlete.
Both
Canada,
teams
she
are
plays golf now.
Yeah.
She probably could only play about a month.
That's probably why she came to sunny, scenic Central Illinois.
You're right.
I was just going to say, both teams going into a zone on baseline out of bounds here. There are just so many similarities between these two teams this season.
For Illinois State a year ago, an improbable run as they made it to the NCAA tournament. They did it as a number 8 seed.
You know, that doesn't happen too often. One of the very first 8 seeds to get into the tournament. The Missouri Valley is going to expand their tournament this year to a 10-team bracket, first time ever. And I think what happened with the Redbirds last year gives credence to that decision.
The semifinals and the finals of the women's basketball tournament will be televised. Of course, on the men's side, for the first time ever, the championship game will be seen on CBS. So it's quite a jump on both the men's and women's side in the Missouri Valley Conference. We step aside with 11:56 to go first half. It's 12-8, Bradley on top at home. And we're just 9 minutes into this first half. The rebound will go to the Bradley Braves, pulled away by Ashley Shalene. Braves on top by 4. Neither team, coach, has really shot the ball that well.
No, they haven't. And to some degree, we got to credit the defense, because I think both teams have stepped up their defense in this game.
Cerrone to Hudson. They try to swing it left side, and they throw it out of bounds. So a substitution for Illinois State. Sarah Stevenson, a 5'8" junior from Olney, Illinois, into the game. And with the injuries that Illinois State has been dealing with this year, it's Stevenson, who was not part of the club a year ago, back for Illinois State this year.
2 years ago, Sarah Stevenson was a very promising freshman, and last year did not play at all. She stayed in contact with Coach Pinchton and rejoined the team when they lost their 2 players, and I think will be a very welcome addition to the Redbird squad.
Flanagan with a terrific move on that last play, and that's her first bucket of the afternoon. Illinois State, their last basket at 16:22.
Illinois State has struggled to score in their last several ball games. typically a good three-point shooting team. They're having trouble getting the three, starting to try and attack the basket more. You know, we just had two high school teammates on the floor a minute ago, and one of them just left the floor. Sky Johnson and Berea Banks, two freshmen on opposing sides here, played at Marion Catholic, one of the better high school programs in the state of Illinois.
Well, that's a great look inside. The pass from Crumweedy. And Bradley has their biggest lead of 8.
Bradley's doing a nice job post to post so far in this game, drawing the help defense and dumping off.
Illinois State trying to answer, they can't. Again, their last basket at 16:22 of this first half, and we approach 10 minutes to go. That's Nelson with the basketball, gives it up. Bradley a record of 4-10, 0-5 in conference play. Illinois State looking for their first conference win as well. Good defense, hit out of bounds. The officials trying to help each other out. It's going to stay with Bradley with 6 on the shot clock. And here's that great pass from Crumweedy.
That's pretty heads up for a freshman to draw that help defense. Shalene, though, has got a nice touch. She's a kid that could consistently be scoring double figures.
Flanagan for 3, yes.
Oh, she's feeling it now, Dan.
And Flanagan's got 5. A 15-0 run for Bradley in the last 5 minutes plus.
That foul on Libby Magnuson. Flanagan's got a quick release. She gets her footwork done, and with a bad leg, that's even more impressive.
Off Illinois State as Cerrone couldn't hold on to it. (19-8) Bradley. Under 10 minutes to go first half. The NBC Game of the Week presented by State Farm.
Illinois State struggling a little bit defensively, just shifted into a zone defense, I think.
They had mixed up Bradley a little bit offensively that time, back to Illinois State.
Yeah, miscue, I think, between Jen Brown and Devin Flanagan. That's a pretty good combination of 1 and 2 guards here.
Flanagan. 7 points to lead all scorers, and that's going to be a timeout now taken by Illinois State as Bradley has opened up their largest lead of the afternoon, 21-8. Flanagan with a game-high 7. 13-point lead. NBC Women's Standings brought to you by Ameren, a legion of men and women making sure the night lights of the neighborhood flicker to life when called upon. Visit Ameren.com to learn more. 365 and then some. And as we said, Coach, Indiana State, kind of the cream of the crop, so to speak. 13-2 overall, 5-0 in conference play. And then, you know, between that, you go from 2 to 10, it's going to be tough to say who finishes where.
It's, you know, probably the biggest surprise, I think, so far has been Wichita State. They were picked 9th in the preseason. They're right in the middle of the pack with a 3-2 record right now, and have had some very good wins. But I think they've surprised a lot of people. I think it's a surprise as well that Bradley and Illinois State are at the bottom, and you know, I will be surprised to see them stay there, but the conference is getting much better balance.
Ball in the hands of Cerrone. She's across the timeline, and Illinois State is trying to get something going offensively. They have shot under 30% in this first half.
Well, Robin Pinchton put Amber Shelton back on the floor with her 2 fouls and taking a chance here with almost 9 minutes left in this first half.
5 on the shot clock. Cerrone head of the key, her second 3 of the afternoon. Kind of a botched play offensively, and she made something happen.
Well, she's a competitor. She's going to find something if she can't make it. I'll tell you what, Flanagan certainly doesn't look hampered by that right leg.
Great look to Peters.
I think this full court pressure from Bradley is bothering the Redbirds some. They're just not attacking that full court as well as they usually do.
Right elbow The other thing that you also see is when they start getting into an offensive set, it's way out from the basket, not getting high percentage looks. I mean, you're not seeing shots from 10 or 15 feet. It's beyond it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a team that likes to shoot the three, but they're not getting good open looks yet.
Peters again. Yes.
She's got great range for an inside kid. She shot several three-pointers. In fact, she averages a three-pointer every ball game. 61% at the arc. Now, that's pretty darn good for a 6'2" kid.
Peters, the leading scorer now in this game after her 2. She's got 8. Flanagan with 7. Cerrone with 6 for Illinois State. That's no good. Loose basketball picked up by Illinois State. It's loose now. Ball is going to be tied up, and a jump ball. And I'll tell you what, that's exactly what you were talking about earlier. When you have this elevated court, if kids go diving for it, it's dangerous over there. And we saw that situation as the bench for Bradley had to help out as the players were flying near the sideline. 25-11 with 7:17 to play, first half in our NBC. Full halftime show is just around the corner. We are playing at Robertson Fieldhouse here in Peoria, Illinois. An old hangar. This has been a fun place for a number of years. Remember, the men's side played here for decades, so they moved out in the early 80s, and the women, of course, still playing here, and it's a fun little building.
You know, there's so much pressure in college athletics to have new and better facilities, and unfortunately we lose something when we lose these kind of environments. It's just got, it's fan friendly, that's for sure, because it's just going to reverberate in this facility. Holly Hallstrom's come back on the floor also for Illinois State. I think both teams have their starting lineups out there now.
Cerrone tried to force it inside. She couldn't. Turnover as Shelton and Hallstrom are both playing with 2 fouls for Illinois State.
Erica Nelson's the kid that had the ball there that got fouled. She's one of those players that is probably the most steady kid on the floor, in spite of the fact she hasn't scored well this year. Great three-point shooter.
Molly Hartke just checked into the game for the Braves.
Hartke, one of 3 seniors on this team from Neoga, Illinois.
That's Brown for 3. Jen Brown closing in on 300 career assists, known more for her assists, but she does average 6 a game, and she gets on the board with that 3. Illinois State answers at the other end. Holly Hallstrom. Under 6 minutes to go, first half. A half that has been dominated by Bradley here at home. They miss on the layup. It's tied up with Peters. She gets it back on the block, kicks it out. That's Brown. Very unselfish play here. Good ball movement.
I was just going to say that. I think Bradley's doing a nice job getting ball reversal against this zone. They're trying to get it in and out, and that's giving them some decent.
7-6-7.
We should mention, too, Dan, that this is the first time, because of the 10-team tournament, that they will begin play on Thursday and extend into Sunday. So the women now in a 4-team tournament bracket down in Springfield, and talk about a great environment for women's basketball. Fans there really support the Lady Bears.
Short on the shot for Illinois State was McCracken. She takes another crack at it and hits it. The 3.
Yeah. McCracken sat out a good portion of the non-conference with a stress fracture. Came back in the last game against Illinois with a career high, and then has really not done much since.
Hartke, the miss. Peters had a hand on it. It's going to be Cerrone that pulls it away. She's fouled, no call. And then they call that.
Yeah, Magnuson got a hand in there on McCracken.
A lead of 14 with 4:56 to go in our first half of play as Flanagan will check back in. You wonder with Flanagan's leg as banged up as it is, how many minutes they can get out of her today.
Well, you know, she played against Indiana State and didn't even know she had the stress fracture. So my gut says that because it's non-weight bearing, it doesn't seem to be really bothering her. They held her out of practice yesterday, so it should be relatively fresh.
Hudson hands it off to Shelton. From the free throw line, no good. Peters pulls away the rebound. Outlets to Hartke, and here they come. Partially blocked inside. Peters got the rebound, and another second chance for Bradley.
Well, I tell you what, they crash their offensive boards, and coming in from the top, it's hard to find that player, especially in transition.
Brown for three, rattles out, and a rebound to Illinois State. This is Hudson. Good look inside. That's Lori Trumbley.
Trumbley is a transfer from Murray State, sat out last year, has a really nice touch.
Flanagan got it knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the home Braves, and we step aside yet again. 12-point lead for Bradley. 3:54 to go. First half, the State Farm NBC Game of the Week. 6.
Amy Peters has kicked in 8 as well, in a very quiet way, though, Dan.
That's Peters that time, drawing contact, and she'll go to the line. Amy Peters will attempt her first free throws of the afternoon. 4 of 7 from the field. She's played the majority of the half. 8th team foul against Illinois State. Peters will shoot 2. And it's a 13-point lead. Her 9th point to lead all scores.
Peters has really improved her game so much over the past. She was 3 for 25 at 3-point prior to this season, and now she is probably their best percentage 3-point shooter on the floor.
Cerrone had a good pass over there to the right side as McCracken just walked into the shot, didn't hit it, and it was a foul on the rebound, the 19th foul against Illinois State. 31-18 with 3:38 to go first half.
You know, it's interesting. Illinois State last year, great shooting team, and their style is to really put the ball up. They've struggled to score, and that's got to be a key to this team.
Devin Flanagan at the line for Bradley. She is the second leading scorer thus far today. That's her 8th point.
Well, Flanagan's playing like there's no problem with that right leg. That's for darn sure. It's amazing. She hardly averaged 5 points a game last year, and now she's up to 11 and probably the most consistent scorer for the Lady Braves.
The lead is back up to 15. Liberatore will have a seat. Shalene back in the game for Bradley. 3:38 to go, first half. And Cerrone wanted to clear everybody out. Hudson to McCracken. We approach 10 on the shot clock.
Bradley doing a nice job just staying with this rotation on the top.
Cerrone leans in, no good, and a rebound to Sky Johnson. Flanagan feeds it inside, and Peters will go to the line and shoot a couple. One thing Bradley has done, Coach, very well is play defense today. Illinois State has not gotten into any kind of offensive rhythm.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think part of it is because Bradley is using a lot of people. Their bench has been extremely effective all season, not just today, but their bench has outscored their opponents almost 20-some points a game. That's unbelievable.
Peters in double figures with 10.
Paula Busher does a nice job rotating players in and out of the game to keep people fresh and to give a different look all the time.
Peters with 11.
Bradley looking for a run and jump here on Cerrone, trying to keep the ball out of her hands as much as possible.
McCracken for 3. Rattles it in.
McCracken was a point guard for the Redbirds last year in their title run, and now is playing that shooting guard position. An Iowa State player her freshman year, and came with Robin Pinchton from the Cyclones.
Over and back. And it's back to Illinois State with 2:28 to go, 35-21. You mentioned it before, you rarely see it, but the number 8 seeded Redbirds wound up winning the postseason tournament and heading to the NCAA tournament.
Of course, they drew Baylor the first game, and Baylor ended up being the national champion, which frankly doesn't probably help your conference, but a great opportunity for Illinois State. Missouri State went on to win the WNIT last season after not receiving a bid to the tournament.
Trumbley missed everything. 2 minutes to go in our first half of play. Here's Flanagan. Flanagan with 9. Peters, leading scorer in the game, with 11. Boy, they've done that a bunch. Get it inside as Ashley knocked it down. Shalene has 4 points. McCracken hits another 3. She's got 2 threes this afternoon and 9 points. And a timeout will be taken by Bradley. 1:29 to play, 37-24. Bradley at home on top. Of course, we've got the halftime report coming up. And again, we are at Robertson Fieldhouse in Peoria, home to the Bradley Braves. It's the second most points scored by Bradley in the first half this year. It 39 in the first half against St. Louis University earlier. Under a minute and a half to play, first half. This is Peters, who's had a nice first half, to Brown. Brown has hit a 3 today. Almost a steal for Cerrone. She causes a little bit of confusion. Flanagan with 5 on the shot clock. Jump stop. Out to Brown. The 3 is up. It's no good. And it's loose on the floor. Illinois State comes away with it. Under a minute to go. This is Hudson to Cerrone. Hudson to the baseline. Trumbley knocks down the 2. She's got 4. And the lead is cut to 37-26.
Birds are making a late run here in the half, trying to get this down to a one-digit ball game.
Difference of about 13 seconds, game clock and shot clock. 3 up, left side, no. Cerrone with it. She's got Hudson. Cerrone wants to take it herself off the glass, no. Shot clock is off. 15 seconds to go first half. Here's Nelson the other way. Wasting no time. But she got it blocked by Trumbley. From the corner. It's no good. And a whistle and a foul against Illinois State with 2.2 seconds remaining in our first half of play. The coaching staff right in front of us for Illinois State not happy one bit with that call.
This game has gotten a lot more up-tempo here as we wind down this half. Both teams have a sense of urgency in this game, Dan, because they both need this conference win.
Saw the difference in free throw attempts. This will be number 12 for Bradley, playing at home, mind you, of the first half. Front Weedy, 1 of 2. Cerrone lets it fly, and just short. So the first half comes to a close with the Braves at home leading by the score of 38-26. Let's check the Mercy health plans for the second half. Jill, take it away.
Paula, you were concerned about defensive intensity and you wanted the ball to go inside. How did you do the first half?
Well, I'm going to grade it at about a B, but not a B plus, because I thought our defensive intensity was pretty good, but then I thought we had moments where we really could have made a push and really, tried to get a big lead, and I thought we backed off. We can't let them get easy catches in the half court. We got a little mixed up on our run and jump. I'm definitely not happy about getting the ball inside. We used a timeout to talk about it twice, and we're conceding the outside shot. I'll take the outside shot after we've worked too hard to get it in.
Good job, Coach. Good luck second half.
Good ball so far. First half in the books. 38-26. The Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital halftime report begins after this brief.
Well, right now, I don't think Illinois State could shoot it in the ocean. They're having trouble scoring, but credit Bradley defense. I think they've given them more full court than they might have wanted, and they're taking different players out of the game, so they've come in with a great game plan.
And I really felt that defense kind of set the tone in that first half for Bradley.
It definitely did. I think they were trying to really get on Chrissy Cerrone. She's the one that creates most of the offense for the Redbirds, and I think Devin Flanagan and Jen Brown have both done a nice job picking Cerrone up in the half court.
All right, as we head to break, a moment showcases the 2005 State Farm MVC tournament run by Illinois State. Seeded 8th in the tourney, the Redbirds upset top-seeded Missouri State in the first round. Then outlasted 4th seed UNI in the second round for a date in the finals against Indiana State. They would win it 72-70. And that's your O'Reilly Auto Parts Millennium moment. Today's Hero Postal Missouri Valley Conference legend is Kathy Boswell of Illinois State. A native of Shorewood, Illinois, Boswell ended her career as ISU's all-time leading scorer and rebounder, a member of the gold medal winning team in 1984, and also a member of the Missouri Valley Conference Athletics Hall of Fame. Illinois State's Kathy Boswell, today's Hero Postal Missouri Valley Conference legend. On top. And we are playing in Peoria, so they're leading here at home. Stats brought to you by Purina Dog Chow. And what stands out for you, Coach?
Well, the points in the paint are huge. I think Bradley doing a nice job drawing the defense, dumping inside to the post. Free throws are definitely going to be an issue. Illinois State having trouble attacking the basket, and Bradley getting the ball inside, getting to the line. But the other thing that we don't have highlighted here is turnovers. And right now, Bradley scoring off of turnovers, 9 points, Illinois State with 0. And frankly, it just appears that the aggressor is winning the battle right now, Dan.
First half stats brought to you by Purina Dog Chow. Purina Dog Chow, long live your dog. 38-26. 26, Bradley leading Illinois State. Jill Hutchison, take it away.
Robin, that half wasn't exactly the way you wanted to start this ball game. What adjustments have you made at halftime?
Well, I just think our effort's got to be better, Jill. We're getting out rebounded. In 1 minute's time, we put them on the free throw line 3 different occasions. They went 5 for 6. We got to cue it foul, and we got to do a better job on the boards.
Good luck second half, Coach.
Thanks.
Now, did you ever yell at media members? You never did that, did you?
Nope, never, ever, ever. I never yelled
once?
at media or officials.
Ever?
Well, an official now and then.
I think you may have selective memory.
Yeah.
I think we've just broken a new story. All right, Illinois State will have the basketball as we start our second half of play. 38-26, Bradley on top. And stepping out of bounds is Tiffany Hudson. Not the way that Illinois State wants to start this second half.
I know, but Bradley doing a nice job trying to deny the passing lane, working on defense before they get the ball instead of after. Illinois State coming back out in that same zone defense here.
Here's Flanagan. Looked like a travel, and it was.
Boy, she had the right idea, though. She had Crumwitty wide open on that baseline once she penetrated the zone.
Amy Peters led all scores in the first half with 11. Flanagan had 9. And chipping in with 9 for Illinois State with 3 threes was the sharpshooting Megan McCracken. That's a beautiful play inside. Amber Shelton, who played with 2 fouls in that first half, was really limited. Gets her first 2 of the second half, and it cuts the lead to 10. I guess as a coach, you say, let's just get it to single digits and then try to peck away from there.
Absolutely. I think both teams would feel that way. Bradley like to keep it in doubles. Jen Brown is really shooting well from 3-point range. She's been hot and cold for the Braves recently, so that's a good sign for Bradley.
Brown, her second 3 of the afternoon. This is our State Farm game of the week. Illinois State trying to answer with a 3 of their own. Peters picks up the miss.
Bradley continues to dominate the rebounds in this game. Over 5 more rebounds in the first half than Illinois State. Bradley does a nice job pulling to a 4 out against that zone and then flashing into that with Peters, but Peters can shoot the 3.
She's done the majority of her work inside today. This is Flanagan with 2 on the shot clock. The 3 is up, no good. And they're banging inside. And that looks like it's going to go against Amber Shelton.
I think that's going to be Shelton's 3rd foul. 4th foul, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She is a key player for Illinois State. And obviously, Robin Pinchton thinks so too. She's going to leave her on the floor, and another foul now on the Redbirds.
Now we're going to have a substitution as Hallstrom is going to check in, presumably for Shelton.
Robin Pinchton having a hard time finding the right lineup. Megan McCracken, a typical starter, did not start this game. She started the second half, however. Lori Trumley, first time she has ever started a half at Illinois State, started the second half as well.
(43-28), 15-point lead.
Bradley winning the battle at the free throw line.
Cerrone over and back.
I think Cerrone started looking at to see where she was going to go in her offense. Right then, Bradley took advantage of that by going after the ball.
This is Brown left side. Shot up from the corner is no good.
I'm impressed with the range of the post players for Bradley. That was Crumwitty taking that outside shot that time.
Cerrone leaning in, drawing contact. And the foul will go against Magnuson.
Cerrone does a nice job creating her own shot and creating her foul as well.
Cerrone goes to the line. You're right, that rotation goes sideways.
Oh yeah, she pushes with her left thumb and she's got that side rotation, but boy, the ball goes in. That's all that counts. Again, Paula Buscher's running players in and out quite a bit, and her bench has been extremely productive. I think I said 20 points first half, but they honestly average 14 points a game more than their opponent's bench.
Cerrone hits them both. She has 8. 17 and a half to go. We're at Robertson Fieldhouse in Peoria, Illinois. Our NBC Game of the Week presented by our friends at State Farm. They have been a wonderful partner with the Valley for a number of years. The good folks at State Farm.
You know, State Farm has been such an ally for women's sports in general. I think that's been a pleasure and a great sponsor for Valley women's basketball.
Fresh 30 after the foul. Flanagan with the inbound.
Illinois State playing some man defense here after their last made free throw. Looks like they're going to try and mix it up a little bit.
They got to try to do something just to get something going. And picking up the miss, Holstrom.
Again, nice defense by Bradley. Really moving into the passing lane in denial. Illinois State waiting for the ball to come.
43-30. Just under 17 minutes to go. From Weedy from the free throw line. And picking up the rebound, Tiffany Hudson. Hudson to Cerrone, lets it fly, no good. And a rebound back to the Bradley Braves. Nelson into the game. Pushing it up the floor to Flanagan. Flanagan looking for help, has it in Brown. I mean, a deep three from the baseline.
Jen Brown is on fire at the three-point arc in this ball game.
Timeout taken by Illinois State. 16-point lead for Bradley at home with 16:16 to go. The MVC presented by State Farm.
And then Wichita continues to impress, and I think they have just done a tremendous job with that program.
Illinois State has turned the ball over 11 times this afternoon, and more times than not, Bradley has converted those turnovers into points. They've got 9 points off those 11 turnovers. Conversely, Illinois State with just 2 off of turnovers. Inside it goes to Johnson. They kick it back out, under 10 on the shot clock. Johnson, the offensive rebound won't fall. Rebound inside by Holstrom. She's playing with 3 fouls, Coach. You've got Shelton playing with 4 and McCracken with 4. So they're in some foul trouble, Illinois State is.
And those are key players for Illinois State, all 3 typical starters.
And when you have players in foul trouble, that means that more times than not, Bradley is getting to the line. They have done that a bunch this afternoon. They're 12 of 14 for the free throw line.
Right now, the free throw line and turnovers seem to be huge factors in this ball game.
3 up, no good. Loose basketball. Johnson couldn't get to it. A fresh 30 for the Braves.
Again, Bradley seems to be dominating the boards. That's their 8th offensive rebound of the game.
Here's Nelson feeding it inside, stripped away, and a turnover to Illinois State. Bradley wanted a foul, didn't get it.
Bradley changing their defense up a little bit. They came out in the zone after that timeout. They're back in their man.
That's stripped away. Or is it? No, it's back to Illinois State. 5 on the shot clock. Johnson leaning in, and they're going to say that is an offensive foul. Offensive foul.
You know, it looked like Johnson just was a little off balance going into that, and I think that's why she got that call.
772402929. Or visit choicesportstravel.com and get your best interest rate guarantee. We hope to see you there. Did you get all those hotels, Jill?
Absolutely. I
Good.
stay in every one of them.
Excellent.
I just need to travel more.
Travel just enough during the winter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good deal. Uh-oh.
Johnson throws it away, and it's back to Bradley with 14:09 to go.
13th turnover for Illinois State. Bradley with only 6 turnovers so far in this game. That's outstanding for them.
Of course, you'll be traveling to Springfield in the near future for the postseason tournament. It's just around the corner as Bradley hits another 3, and that's Amy Peters. Well, you talked about it, how she could hit the outside jumper, and she shows her versatility with that shot. More times than not, She's been scoring inside today.
Absolutely. I think Peters is really one of the nicer post players in the Valley because she can do it all right now.
Foul on Erica Nelson. Paula Busher is saying, wait a minute, Cerrone's pushing off.
Illinois State must be feeling a sense of urgency here, down 17 points. To stay in this game, they've got to make something happen offensively now.
Cerrone to Holmstrom. And it's going to be off of Bradley player. It's going to stay with Illinois State.
That shot clock will not reset on that. That's the only violation where it does not reset. If it's more than 15 seconds, it stays where it is. If it's less than 15, it goes to 15.
In the corner, Cerrone for three, no. And the rebound to Flanagan. Flanagan pushing, what a pass, wow. Best pass of the day. And Peters on the receiving end. Terrific dish.
That makes you appreciate why Bradley really wanted Flanagan to keep playing this season. She definitely is a difference maker.
And Cerrone answers on the other end.
Bradley playing a little bit more deliberately this half with a 17-point lead. They don't have to run quite so up-tempo. Illinois State in the man defense here. Again, they seem to be switching on makes.
Coach, of course, you've been involved in this I-74 series. And you've heard so many of the fans say, boy, you just got a Katie bar the door when these two teams get going.
Well, sometimes I think this is more a war on 74 with the fans, but what a pretty pass in there by Flanagan. And again, Peters is in the right place at the right time, and that's what it's all about. But the war on 74 sometimes I think is more about fans than it is about players, especially on the women's side. I think both these teams are probably just as concerned about themselves as they are about their opponents and trying to get their game where they want it to be.
How nice is that?
That is great. Molly Hartke, usually a three-point shooter, doing a nice job on that cut to the basket against the zone, no less. Nice feed inside by Cerrone that time, and Holly Hallstrom, the most productive post player for Illinois State.
Playing with 3 fouls, she's got 8 points in the afternoon. One player in double figures, that's it, Cerrone for Illinois State, and with 16 points for Bradley, it's Amy Peters.
Oh, I think there was just a double foul on that call. Nobody's going to be happy.
Could read her lips. I don't know about that one, she said.
Yeah.
We'll step aside, 11:35 to play. All Bradley so far, 53-36.
Al Bowman, president of Illinois State University, genuinely a very avid fan of all the Redbird teams. He and his wife Linda come to a number of events, but I think a breath of fresh air at Illinois State, quite honestly. A very popular president there.
Bradley will inbound.
Whoa.
Contact, but no whistle. Now they've got numbers. Cerrone to McCracken. And McCracken has 11, so 2 players in double figures for Illinois State.
That's one of those where you pull it out and show it to your team. It all starts with a rebound.
It looked like a foul on the other end. They didn't call it.
Crumwoody did a nice job attacking the basket. She just didn't get the call there.
15 is the difference in this game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bradley doing a nice job getting it in and sending weak side cutters to the basket.
Well, they don't call it on the previous end, they call that. Yeah. Athletically inspired, comfortable clothes at reasonable prices, only at Aeropostale. For store locations, visit their website at aeropostale.com. Aeropostale providing scholarships through sponsorship. So fouling out McCracken with 11.
Wow, that's a big blow to Illinois State. McCracken, really their most experienced player on the floor.
Off the inbound, and a fresh 30, under 11 to play in our ball game this afternoon. From Weedy, a good look. Looked like it over the back, no call. Rebound inside, it's going to be tied up, and a travel. A travel with 10:46 to play.
You're right, Dan. It looks like there's a lot of people crashing those boards and not a lot being called under there.
Jill, are you a fan of seeing 10 teams get into the women's tournament?
I think it's a good thing to give all these teams an opportunity. I think the more players play at that level, the better they're going to get. And the whole idea is to give kids opportunities to play and to improve the caliber of your league.
And as last year showed us, a low seed can win it. I mean, that's a number 8 seed that wins last year.
It's like a brand new season, and kids, you know, hopefully they're learning things as the season progresses, and that's the payoff at the end, and gives them an opportunity. So I think the Women's Valley Tournament is one of the finest women's tournaments in the country, and people have not seen it. They need to get there. It's great competition.
Be in Springfield, Missouri this year. Lead of 13 for Bradley. Hoops in the Heartland is what we call it.
And again, we mentioned earlier, playing in Springfield, Missouri is always a treat. The fans in Springfield really appreciate their women's basketball, and it's not unusual to play in front of 6,000 or 7,000 people.
What an afternoon for Amy Peters, now with 18 points to lead all scores. Tough shot inside, and a whistle and a foul. As Shelton has come alive here, playing with 4 fouls.
Well, she's definitely an aggressive player. She's the bulldog for Illinois State, the one kid that likes to attack the basket.
A Dayton history brought to you by the Renaissance Grand Hotel St. Louis. You see quite a night for USA Olympian Charlotte Lewis of Illinois State. The Renaissance Grand Hotel St. Louis, the official St. Louis hotel of the Missouri Valley Conference.
Charlotte Lewis, I think the best female rebounder I have ever seen in the game, bar none.
And this weekend it was quite a night for Carrie Kaufman.
Yes, it was.
As she was inducted into the Bradley Hall of Fame.
Carrie Kaufman, a great basketball player for Bradley here. Been playing in Europe and has come back now and was inducted. We might say, too, Charlotte Lewis lives about 2 blocks from Robertson Fieldhouse here.
Hallstrom. And just like that, with her 10 points, lead is cut to 55-44, 9:11 to go. Now, Illinois State is in foul trouble. They've had McCracken already foul out. They're missing 2 of their top players with injury, but yet they're just hanging around just enough.
You know, they're fighters, they're competitors, they're kids coming from winning programs in high school that aren't used to losing, and I think that's true with Bradley as well. Both of these programs recruit heavily from the state of Illinois. Illinois State with only 3 players out of state, and Bradley with 3 kids from Minnesota. So Illinois with a very rich history in girls basketball, and these programs have taken advantage of it.
Paula Busher didn't like what she saw, so she took the timeout. The Valley sparing no expense, of course, for our telecast. We've just added the jib camera, much to the delight of the Valley administration, trying to enhance our telecast.
defense again here after that timeout.
Hit out of bounds? No, it stays in. Illinois State will pull it away.
Bradley doing a much better job in defensive transition. A good hit, though, by Amber Shelton. Makes this definitely a single-digit ball game now.
So Shelton hits it. She now has 10 points, and the lead is cut to 55-47. So it's an 8-point lead. Oh, almost a steal. Let's see Bradley just not in their offensive swing as they were before.
No, I'm wondering if switching defenses has affected them. They're very effective against that zone.
Turnover. Back to Illinois State.
Nice hand in there by Lori Trumley.
Shelton. We've got the Illinois State faithful behind us and strong showing. They're getting back into this game just like their team is.
Now they can get rowdy, and this is the kind of place where when fans get rowdy, you really notice it. It doesn't absorb the sound like some of the new facilities.
Another turnover. Cerrone. All the way in.
Coast to coast for Cerrone. That's when she's at her best in that open court game.
12 points for Cerrone, 55-49.
Now we should probably mention that last year these two teams each won on their home courts by a big score of 2 points each. And this is always, typically anyway, has been a very closely fought ball game.
In the last 3 minutes, Illinois State on a 13-2 run. And they're right back in the game. Shot clock at 1. And it's back to Illinois State.
Well, again, the Birds are in that man defense, and Bradley kind of got used to playing against that zone. It definitely changes the tempo of the game.
A much-needed media timeout for the Braves of Bradley at home trying to hold on as they lead it by 6 with 6:47 to go.
That was concern. I got you.
I've been watching him all afternoon over there in the baseline. He's been into it, but now he's got to be a little concerned as his team is only up by 6. 1 point, they're up by 16.
Well, as we noticed on the reset there, Illinois State with 6 fouls. The next one will be the bonus. Bradley's got 2 more to give before they put Illinois at the line. Illinois State.
And Illinois State picks up the rebound. That was Trumley, and they didn't do that at all in the first half. Now things are starting to go their way. Getting loose basketballs.
I think it's all about being aggressive, and until the last couple minutes, Bradley has been the aggressor in this ball game.
Just over 6 minutes to go. Cerrone will pull it back. 10 on the shot clock. She's going to take it herself and try to get a pick here. Working against Nelson. Great look inside. And heading to the line will be Hallstrom. You got Hallstrom, coach, playing with 3. You've already had McCracken foul out. Shelton is playing with 4, and yet Illinois State goes on this run.
Well, I think that's a pleasing sign for Illinois State because their bench has probably not contributed more than about 6 points a game in Valley play. And right now, their bench is outscoring Bradley 15-10, and that's just a reversal of roles right now.
55-50 with 6:07. She'll eye it up and knocks it down. How about this?
Oh, we got a ball game,
yeah,
Dan.
55-51.
You know, this is when coaches really can reinforce it. It's all about effort.
Hartke looking for help. Has it. Flanagan kicks it out. Hartke for 3. It's much needed. Won't fall in there. Rebound. Partially blocked. Hit out of bounds.
It's a huge rebound by Crumwitty. Yeah, and Paula Busher asking for a foul on that. Didn't get anything.
.542 to play. 55-51.
Steve Stell just talking to his 2 officiating partners here to reset that clock.
inbound. Here's Nelson. Nelson, little pump fake and a travel. Back to Illinois State.
Nelson, not typically a penetrating type of player. Great shoot and catch and shoot player. Shoot and catch. That'd be one way to play the game, wouldn't it?
You got it. Last time it was a 2-point game. You have to go back to when it was 10-8 with 14:20 to play in the first half. And a whistle and a foul against Flanagan. That's her second personal. Team fouls, it's number 6 on Bradley, and also Illinois State with 6 team fouls. Crowd of close to 2,000 in attendance here at Robertson Fieldhouse. We mentioned that 6 out of the 9 top crowds they've had have been between these two teams over the years. Here's Cerrone. Hudson. Steal. Jen Brown against Hudson. Hit out of bounds. It will stay with Bradley.
Great heads-up play by Jen Brown that time on the defensive end. She's a young lady that leads her team in steals with almost 2 a game.
Off the glass, no good. Bouncing around, Bradley's got it. Flanagan in the corner, kicks it out. Magnuson.
Again, Bradley doing a nice job moving the ball against this zone for Illinois State.
Here's Flanagan, 15 on the shot clock. They go inside, it's a triple team. They'll take it back. Under 10 on the shot clock. Flanagan hits the 3.
That's a big time shot. Flanagan stepped up when they had to have it.
Huge shot. Flanagan with 12. 58-51 with under 4.5 to play. That's a foul.
Yeah, Chrissy Cerrone is looking for that. She's gotten bumped several times, but the defense has kept their hands off. And I think when they do that, the officials are going to let them play.
Magnuson whistled for the foul.
Chrissy Cerrone, probably one of the better free throw shooters for Illinois State at 76%. She gets just under 5 points a game at the line.
5'8" freshman from Chicago. Christy Cerrone. Off the back iron. But it's going to be tied up. It's loose.
Nice effort by Lori Trumley. She's not a kid that's got a lot of springs in her legs, but she's got great hands.
So they call foul.
Yeah.
I thought initially they might call a jump ball. Instead, it's going to be a foul against Bradley.
It sends Trumley to the line.
Now the officials are going to talk it over.
Oh, the 5th foul on Magnuson. I believe she gets a rest.
Team foul number 8.
Magnuson's really done pretty well in Valley play. She careered against Creighton, a very good team. 14 points, 10 assists. You know, point assist double-doubles are pretty special, I think.
That's no good, so they missed the last 2 free throws, and that could kill them down the stretch.
No question. Bricking at the line doesn't help you.
Here's Brown for Bradley. Flanagan guarded by Hudson. We are at 4 minutes to go. Off the glass, no good, but a fresh 30.
Shalene has had 2 offensive boards the last couple possessions for Bradley. Critical timing.
Brown. Flanagan, who just hit that big 3 in the last possession, hits only a 2 from the head of the key, but the last 5 points have been critical. It's back up to a 9-point lead.
Flanagan did a nice job coming off the dribble, going to her left, shooting back to her right. That's not an easy shot.
Illinois State at 1 one point had clawed back to a 55-51 deficit. And now it's going to be a foul. They're going to call it on Brown, I believe.
Not popular here in Robertson Fieldhouse.
3:16 to go when we come back. And now to meet our State Farm players of the game, Coach.
Well, Amy Peters has done everything for the Bradley Braves. She's shooting it inside. She's shooting it outside. She right now 7 for 10, 3 for 4 at the line. She's also chipped in 4 rebounds as well.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Peters, our State Farm player of the game for the Bradley Braves. Tiffany Hudson at the line. Stops a 4-0 run, or checked that 5-0 run by
Amber Shelton, the player of the game for the Illinois State Redbirds. It's been her energy and her effort that has gotten the Birds back in this game in the final 6 or 7 minutes, attacking the basket and just playing hard with 4 fouls.
So 7-point lead for Bradley with just over 3 minutes to go in our State Farm game of the week. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They provide our players of the game. So Bradley's going to take some time off the clock and see if they can't get a good look. Great
Good
box
take.
out. Ball is tied up. Illinois State pulls away.
Good take, though, by Ashley Shalene. She was open to shoot that and then almost gets her own rebound.
Here's Cerrone. She's got 12 points for Illinois State with the basketball. Now to Hudson. And a hold.
That's going to be on Shalene. That's funny. She was hanging on to Lori Trumley's shirt, and she went to the high post, and it was just as obvious as you can imagine. That will. Oh, that's interesting. They're going to send Cerrone to the line. I thought she was hanging on to Lori Trumley.
So Cerrone at the line, hits the first. And back in the game for the Braves, Kelly Crumweedy, freshman from Glen Ellen.
Crumweedy has a chance on a double-double. She's leading all rebounders with 10.
Cerrone with 14. Lead is back down to 5. Brown with the basketball. Now to Flanagan. Glad you're with us on this Sunday afternoon from Robertson Fieldhouse in Peoria. Very nice crowd on hand. They're going to get Cerrone for that one. The frustrating part of that is that the shot clock is halfway down, then the foul is committed.
Yeah, that's when coaches want to kill players. You know, just play it out and contain them and let them make their own mistakes. But Jen Brown doing a nice job. She changes pace with her dribble, and she looks to penetrate, and you've got to defend her. Illinois State gets it close and within reach, and then a foul pulls it away again. That's a 7th foul for the Redbirds. Bradley with 10 in the double bonus already.
Cerrone. 10 on the shot clock. Short with it. Pulled away by Crumweedy.
Illinois State offensively looking like they're just trying to clear it out and drive with no movement off the ball.
Crumweedy to the goal, and she's fouled by Trumley.
Crumweedy is yet to score from the floor in this game. She's zipped for 6, but 7 for 8 at the line. Has a chance for a couple more right here. I think she's a nice looking freshman. She is very assertive. She can work off a dribble. She can work with her back to the basket, and she's got some range.
Crumweedy with 9 points with that make, and all her points have come from the free throw line. Bradley has shot very well from the free throw line this afternoon.
Frankly, that's probably the biggest difference in the game, Dan. the free throw line. Another nice shot by Amber Shelton.
Ooh, almost a turnover on the inbound. Instead of foul against Illinois State. Sarah Stevenson, the junior.
Sarah Stevenson with a foul.
Well, and Illinois State needs to be careful not to get into the double bonus here.
One bonus.
Erica Nelson, again, one of the more steady players, a 5'8" junior from Carl Sandburg High School in the Chicago area.
Nelson with 3 on the afternoon. 1:21 to go, 65-57.
And the free throw line is definitely extending the score.
9-point lead.
Just a minute ago, Birds had that down to a 5-point difference.
Cerrone, head of the key. The 3 is up, and she hits it. 6-point lead. Timeout taken by Illinois State.
And a nice penetration and dump by Amber Shelton that time with the assist. Brings the Birds back to within 6.
Minute 5 left to play. Time now for the Rawlings play of the game, brought to you by Rawlings, the official athletic equipment of the Missouri Valley Conference.
Tell you what, that was a huge shot at the right time by Devin Flanagan to hit that 3, gave them a cushion on that lead and allowed them to control tempo.
Illinois State not done. Cerrone with the 3.
That's a big shot that at least gives Illinois State a chance here. It's a 2-possession game. They've got to play some defense. You know Paula Busher is probably trying to run a lot of clock here, Dan. Not give it up and try and keep Illinois State to just 1 possession, which will be a real challenge.
Tomorrow night, men's side, Evansville against Illinois State. I'll be there. Will you be there too?
You betcha. Got to support the Birds.
Evansville, Illinois State tomorrow. In our Valley Game of the Week, presented by State Farm. 1:05 to play, 6-point lead, so by no means is this game over just yet.
I think there's time for Illinois State to continue to come back, but I think the only way it'll happen is if Bradley makes a mistake here. Illinois State showing full court pressure here. They're playing a man that came right in to Crumwitty, and I don't think anybody in the world expected her to get the pass.
And a foul with 57.2 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
It'll be the 10th team foul against Illinois State.
They took a long time to get the contact. It ran a little more time off the clock than they probably wanted to.
Devin Flanagan in the line for Bradley, shooting 2.
A rare miss for the Braves at the free throw line today.
Flanagan with 14 points. Leading scorer is Amy Peters with 18. Flanagan's next. Rattles out, no good, but Bradley gets the rebound.
That was huge by freshman Crumwitty.
And a foul whistled on Tiffany Hudson. I believe it's Nelson who will go to the line with a 6-point lead and 51 seconds remaining.
Paula Busher asking for an intentional foul on that. Bradley 18 for 22 at the line compared to 11 for 14 for Illinois State. Erica Nelson has been quite successful. This would make 4 for 4 for her at the free throw line all down the stretch here. Illinois State has time for 2 possessions, but this is a 3-possession ball game.
68-60. They've got to hurry up. Hudson, no good. Rebound inside for Illinois State, but it's stripped away.
Nice
Flanagan with it, and she is fouled by Cerrone.
Foul on Christy Cerrone. That's her 4.
Cerrone with 4 fouls now. But a couple free throws here could put this out of reach, Dan. Flanagan with her 15th point of the game. Again, Flanagan came up big when they got into crunch time.
36.2 to go.
Illinois State with 5 3-point shooters on the floor right now.
Back to double digits. 70 to 60, 10-point lead. Should all but do it for Bradley. They'll pick up their first conference win as Cerrone is looking for help. For Bradley, no need to foul. Good defensive stand this time. Rattles out and a whistle underneath. That will go against Crumweedy.
Bradley doing a very nice job defensively, not giving Illinois State a look.
Thanks to Steve Kurtenbach, the Metro Sports crew, Jack Watkins, Erica Fricky.
Fine group to work with, Dan.
At times you're right, Joe. No, they are the best in the business. We're lucky to have them.
It's a classy group. I really have enjoyed working with all of them.
19.3 seconds remaining, 10-point lead. It's cut to 9. So, if you're Illinois State, you foul immediately.
Absolutely. Before, whoa, and they missed the foul. Amber Shelton got one in.
And Nelson fouled immediately. She has 6 points on the afternoon. So Bradley trying to pick up their 5th win overall and go to 1-5 in conference play. Illinois State looks like they will not be able to come back in this ball game. Illinois State came in with a record of 5-8, and they'll drop to 0-5 in conference play.
You know, honestly, Illinois State has not won a game since losing their 2 players to an ACL. And I think retooling and filling those spots has been a difficult change. Very young team that I think will be different a year and even more so 2 years from now.
Just let them have the basket, no need to foul.
Let them use the clock.
9.2 seconds.
Nice job by Bradley. Whoa.
And this will do it. Bradley will win it 71-63, and they get their first conference victory.
A big win for the Bradley Braves. We've mentioned before, this is do or die for both teams, and it's an important win for Bradley.
So they win at home 71-63. We're on the men's side tomorrow at 7 o'clock.